Hi, I'm Olivia Chantecaille.
Hi, I'm Sylvie Chantecaille.
What do you think is my greatest strength?
I think you're very logical. Your mind is well organized, and I think you have very good taste. And what do you think is mine?
Well, I think you have many strengths that I admire and try to emulate. I think one of them is that you are an incredible visionary and you see things that other people don't, and you truly inspire others. And I think you sort of elevate the world around you in a very powerful and beautiful way.
That's the nicest thing I could hear.
So I'm curious, what's been the biggest challenge for you in building Chantecaille?
It's a good question. I think that in the beginning, the hardest thing was that I didn't have any money. And when you start a company and you don't want to take shareholders because you want to do your own thing, it's very difficult. So you have to be so multitasking that it stayed with me, the multitasking. And I think that in a way, because I'm quite good at many things in this business, I tend to do too much. And I think that has become an ongoing problem, is I don't know well enough how to just stop.
Right.
And, it takes a little while to get the people that are really great and you can trust and let them do. Right. And I think that could have been one of the bigger challenges for me.
You also have an amazing business mind. So you can easily balance, the many
and also
sides
I'm
of building
detail-oriented. So when something is wrong in Asia, I call them at night. And when something is not so good in London, I call them in the morning. And I end up working all the time. But, we all have to sleep a little. And I know you don't sleep enough. So I would like to know, what is keeping you up at night beside your daughter?
Right. What keeps me up at night? Well, actually, it's interesting because at night, once sort of the emails have quieted down a little bit and everyone's asleep in the house, I find myself sort of researching and deep diving into what's happening in the world around us, especially the things that we're so passionate about with the animals and the environment. And I'm always really excited to sort of dive and explore and find creative new ways and people that are coming up with solutions for offsetting CO2 emissions, or finding alternatives to using plastic, or even now finding alternatives to using paper, because that's just destroying more trees. So I find that it keeps me up at night, but it's exciting and inspiring. And then sometimes it's like the only quiet time I have where I'm not running, where people are coming constantly asking me for something. So then I can actually like research and look and find things.
I know you've done a lot of things. You were a really beautiful model, and you're a very smart girl, and you're a really great mother. What is your highlight in your career?
One of the highlights, I'd have to say, is being able to create the Chantecaille baby line and creating something that is organic and Cosmos certified and really elevated to another level of luxury for such a clean product was really fun and exciting to do. And at the time, only a few years ago, was very innovative, from the packaging, from the ingredients, and from the quality and the results. So I'm very proud of that.
And working with and for your daughter.
Yes, exactly.
That was the most fun.
My muse.
Well, I think that was a big thing. It made you realize that you had to do it. That it's needed, and then all mothers need it.
Yes.
And therefore you create something good for your own daughter, because we now have demands from everywhere around the world asking for the product because women need it.
Yes. Yeah, and not only children. I feel like when you create something for sensitive skin, and now in sort of this toxic world that we live in, so many more people are extremely sensitive to the environment they're in. So I think anything that's very soothing and gentle and calming and clean is really powerful. From one woman to another, I'm curious, what was it like starting your own company?
I think you start your own company when you are quite sure what you want to do. It's like a force in you. And it's almost like being in the zone, You just go boom. And you have to have that feeling, otherwise you cannot do it, because it's so much work and it's so much energy that you have to know that you're doing the right thing. I'd come out of a company where we sat around a conference room for hours discussing things, and I didn't want to waste my time doing that. I wanted to just do what I knew I wanted to do. Also, as a woman, working with your family is amazing. And working with your kids is an amazing thing. You know, you get to see them as adults, you get to see them functioning in a way you would not normally do. How many mothers know what their kids look like at work? They don't.
True.
You know, you don't see it. So I thought that was an extraordinary advantage and joy, and something I will cherish for the rest of my life, you know?
It's true. I think we're so lucky to have a family business. It's very rare, and everyone who meets me says, I could never work with my family. I don't know how you do it, but it works. I, like you, I love being, you know, surrounded by family and being together. So I think it's really wonderful that we've been able to create this and sustain it and grow it together. Is there let's say, a light bulb moment from your career that stands out in your mind right now?
I had gone to Tokyo and brought back a product I really liked. And it was sort of in my left pocket. And I would say, you know, I was thinking this is a whole new way to do foundation. And really the thing I was really doing, because coming out of prescriptives, I had 120 shades of foundation plus a custom blend. It was complicated. And I found this texture in Japan, going to visit this lab, that was very, very transparent, but at the same gave you great coverage. And it was amazing finish. And I thought, I can do a whole new way to look at foundation with this. And working with this, I knew that we could create the next generation of how skin should look in a somewhat easy way with new technology. And technology that was not available at that time in the United States or in Europe. It was only available in Japan.
Yes, I remember that very well. I remember when you came back, you were so excited, you pulled it out of your pocket, you're like, what do you think of this? And it was like, this magical product, you know, that you can only dream of, that actually looked like your skin. It didn't look like you were wearing makeup. It was so natural, but it covered and sort of covered imperfections. It was amazing. And I remember you asked me, you were like, so what do you think? Do you want to team up with me and create this company together? You know, would you want to do that? And I just remember that was like this moment. And I just knew, like, fundamentally deep down that this was going to be a success and that it would be a huge mistake for me not to say yes. And I absolutely wanted to do it with you, for sure.
So good. It's, you know, when you know, you know.
Yes, exactly.
That's the crazy thing. And I think anybody who creates a company, when they know, they know. And that's how it's going to be successful.
Yes. How would you like yourself and Chantecaille to be remembered? Like 100 years from now, a long, long time from now.
I don't need to be remembered. But what I would like to have maybe gotten people to think about is that we're terribly responsible for what we do, and that the planet needs us, and that we need to use our companies to pass information, to create change, to create awareness. And the best thing about what we've done, I think, is not just a product, is the fact that we are able to be a voice for those who don't. You know, next fall, we're going to do something with all endangered species. It's something that gives me great joy, is to be able to bring things like this to the forefront and maybe hopefully do a little bit of good and, you know, change it a bit. Being in the wild is an amazing thing. And being able to see the animals in a natural way. I mean, I hung out last year with 32 lions, you know, for 3 days. It was an incredible thing to learn their ways and understand them and how they care for each other. So it's taking the time to be is maybe the most important thing we can do. Not always run, but be. Anyway, that was so much fun.